question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Monday night. We are streaming on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter/X, Facebook, and Twitch. And we are here with episode 85 of the Throwdown with Matt. And tonight we are throwing down with Utah-based wrestler Alex V. How you doing tonight, Alex?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Like I said, man, I cannot complain. Things are really, really good right now. And I'll go ahead and say for everybody that's watching this live right now, if you have any questions or comments, throw them in the chat, and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little viewer Q&A at the end. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first and most obvious question, Alex, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
I've been wrestling for 6 years now. Just been in the business for 6 years. I've been consistently wrestling for the last 2 years now. I have been as a ref. I was working for about 2 years as well, and then there was the COVID year now. So
right,
which, yeah, everybody knows.
So who initially trained you?
I was training at the UCW Zero gym, which was ran by Brittany Quintana, otherwise known as Paradise, Derek Janetti, and Cassidy as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sterling Silvers spoke very highly of Paradise.
Yeah, she's amazing at what she does. She's a great trainer.
Yeah, I've actually been attempting to get her on the show. So far I haven't gotten a response from her, but I know she's busy. But
Yeah,
hopefully one of these days we can make that happen, because she is somebody else that I would love to have the opportunity to kind of pick her brain.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like she's had so much experience, and obviously she's throwing it to everyone for, like, just training wise. She's good at what she's at, and sorry, I can't talk, but like, yeah, she's great at what she does and very like out there.
Absolutely. So in terms of the early portions of your training, what would you say was the most challenging aspect of professional wrestling for you to wrap your mind and body around?
Well, I think like the hardest thing I was able to do was just kind of knowing like the psychology. I'm still obviously figuring out the psychology of wrestling as well. I've also had like troubles when I was first starting. I had troubles with like learning bumps, learning rolls, and all that stuff. But as time went on, like I got better as them. So I guess like, yeah, the first troubles is just getting that fear away from you.
Got you. Speed round. Will Hobbs.
Ooh, Will Hobbs. Mr. Meat, Mr. Man, Mr. Meat there.
Yeah.
I think he's really great. I think he's really great, obviously for his size too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's one of these big men that moves like a much smaller man,
Oh yeah.
you know, and you know, I always find that fascinating. You know, people like him, Brian Cage, you know, even I'm drawing a blank on his name. He was Jonah over on the Indies.
Bronson Reed.
Yeah, Bronson Reed. I was drawing a blank on his name. Yeah, he's another big man that moves like a much smaller man.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Like you don't get a whole lot of those guys like that. Like just recently, we just have Jacob Fatu, a man who's
yeah.
like always around like 300 pounds and can do like moonsaults and like like all the flips that like any cruiserweight can do, and just oh my god,
Oh yeah,
great.
and you know, I'm glad to see WWE really pulling the trigger on Jacob Fatu because
Oh yeah,
he has no ceiling. I mean, he is going to be the next big thing, I think.
oh yeah. The sky's the limit with Jacob Fatu, no
And,
matter what.
and there are so many great matches ahead for him. You know, I've seen the couple of quick stare downs with him and Braun Breaker, and
Mhm.
I'm dying to see those two mix it up.
Definitely, same here. Hmm.
So I'm presuming you've been a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. Is that pretty accurate?
Yes, I've watched wrestling during like 20, I'm sorry, 2006. Yeah, 2006. I watched wrestling, and my cousin turned it on, and I just got like so captivated by it. I was captivated by like the people on it, and it was just I just been a fan since then.
So do you remember what your earliest wrestling related memory was? Who was the first wrestler that really caught your attention?
Honestly, it was John Cena. I saw
Hmm.
him, and he obviously the you know the Superman kind of hero esque was what really like got me into him, and I was just like, oh man, he's so cool, the Chain Gang guy, and it was just amazing. He was what really captivated me, and just like what really like got me into wrestling. You know, like I just saw him as like my childhood hero, really, and back then too, like my earliest wrestling memory was I did once uh I used the cardboard that I used for like a science fair project, and me and my
Hmm.
brothers just used it as a table. And yeah, we just like power slam, yeah, power bond each other, just like slammed each other into it. And, you know, like our bodies were indestructible as like children, and then now we're just like, oh, come on, why
Oh
did we
yeah,
do
well,
that?
you know when you're kids, you basically are pretty much indestructible.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
it's as you get older that you find out you're not.
Yeah, definitely. Our bodies just
So
wear out.
So was there a particular point where things sort of turned a corner in your fandom and you started watching the stuff and thinking, you know, I think I could do this? What
It
was
was
there a particular point?
it was also the same year I started watching that I was just like 10 years old. Me, I'm like, man, I want to be a wrestler like John Cena, like Shawn Michaels, like Triple H. And I was just so like giddy into it. I was doing like push-ups till like my arms couldn't feel anymore, sit-ups so like I was like almost about to puke and all that stuff. And then my parents just came up to me and just like told me like, oh, like, hey, why are you doing all these things? Where it's just like I want to be a wrestler. And then uh I don't know why. This is kind of like what caved my like confidence in being one. My parents just like laughed at me and just like kind of just like, oh, just like poking fun at it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of just killed like all just like it. And but like fast forward to like 2017, I saw Kenny Omega wrestle, and the guy really inspired me to wrestle, like kind of ignited the fire again. And so that's when it was like the pivotal point, just me wanting to do it.
Gotcha. Well, now that you're actually doing it, does it feel good to have kind of proved your parents wrong?
Yeah, like it did feel
What did they
good
think?
it did feel good because yeah, like I pretty much proved to them. They were just like, oh, you're gonna quit like after a few months. But no, this was something that I like had so much like love and passion for. Like obviously I wasn't gonna quit, obviously I wasn't gonna quit. And the fact that they've seen that I've kind of like outgrew like their expectations, they just kind of like shut up about it and just go to the shows.
So what did they think? Are they proud of you?
My mom really loves me watching me wrestle. She loves that I'm happy about it. My brothers, they're very vocal and supportive about me wrestling as well, and it's just been crazy on just how much they loved it. They were at our show it was the 4-year anniversary for Dive Wrestling. They were at our show, and they were the loudest people you can hear. You can honestly hear them from space, and just how loud they were. And when I won the Rise to the Top championship here, I just yelled at my brothers to get into the ring. I was expecting my mom to get in the ring too, and my brothers just shared in the glory with me. Another thing
That's
too,
awesome.
like, yeah, it was just awesome to see.
Well, I was just looking over at the Instagram tab, and Trey is in the Instagram chat right now, and he he spoke so highly of you that I mean, I knew I had to get you on, and I'm definitely grateful to Trey, and he's been definitely a friend of the show, and it's just exciting doing these, and getting recommendations from previous guests and all that. So
Right.
it's a great thing. So, away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
Well, as you can see from like my posters, I am a huge anime fan. I
Hmm.
also watch. I also play video games. Um, I do love to go out for a walk with my dog. I
Hmm.
also
What kind of
do like
dog
to
do you
hang
have?
out. Huh?
What kind of dog do you have?
My dog, she is a husky.
Oh,
She's a
nice.
husky. She's very energetic, but she's very lovable.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, she's precious to me. But yeah, I also do like to hang out with my friends. We normally go to like places like the movies, arcades, or even just go out for like a little walk into the town, or go out, because here in Utah we have this area called the Avenues, where we just drive
Hmm.
around and see like a lot of these rich people houses that we can never afford. And like there's always like this little lookout that we just like sit around, or just lounge around there, just take a good look at the city.
Gotcha. So, you know, I don't have a lot of knowledge or experience with anime, but what would you recommend as a good anime series to start my anime journey with?
Oh man, there's like tons. Because if you really just like nonstop action, I can recommend you Dragon Ball Z. if you just want something that's a very good story, there's also Demon Slayer as well. There's yeah, there's like a whole bunch of just like animes that you can like really start with. There's also like shows like Naruto, shows like Pokemon, shows such as like yeah, there's newer shows now. Like Alexa Bliss is in this show called Sakamoto Days. Yeah, she
Okay.
voices the character in that show. It's about like this Yakuza man who kind of gave it up to be a store clerk because his wife is a store clerk too. And like a lot of these Yakuza people are just trying to hunt him down. And she plays one of the Yakuza members too.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I recommend it. It's very funny, it's very actiony, and yeah, like if you really do like high celebrity like voices, there are plenty in there. Like Zolo Marduena, who was in Cobra Kai, and he was also our Blue Beetle, like the current Blue Beetle right now. He's in that show as well, and he's really good at voicing.
Very cool. So, speed round. Chris Jericho.
Really good. He does one thing that like not a lot of wrestlers do, and he adapts with the times, especially like with him like with how old he is right now. They'll like I do feel like the man does need to take a break.
Yeah.
He's a great, like obviously he's great in the ring, he's great as a character, and yeah, he's proven that his character can withstand the test of time, but like obviously like kind of get off our screen so that we have an opportunity and a chance to really miss him, you know?
Right. But I agree with you. You know, he definitely has managed to consistently reinvent himself over the years and remain kind of fresh and relevant. So,
Yeah, definitely, because like he went from the guy that the new Millennium guy to just the list of Jericho to the suit wearing Jericho that everybody really loved back during his WWE day, where he just always spoke so droningly and long and deep like, and but yeah, he's really proven himself. Obviously, like when he went to New Japan, he had this big canvas that he can really like make something new, like the Painmaker and many more.
yeah. Yep. So, what would you say is your favorite thing about Utah?
Obviously, the sites, because like there's always places that you can go to where you can just go for like a little walk. We have parks out here that are just great to really go walk around, see like the average like city life. Obviously, going down around downtown is also great too. There's always just places out here just to go for walks, and I've been doing that a lot of that recently, and because like I've just been wanting to get out of the house more rather than just being cooped up here.
Gotcha. So they say that the best wrestling personas are usually kind of yourself turned up to 11.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about in-ring Alex V and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you.
Well, I pretty much turned the nerd meter like to a 20. The nerd meter to a 20 because I always love bringing like my love for anime, my love for manga, my love for like anything Japan like into the ring of for Alex V. So I'm a lot more like the way I just love to see it is just like I'm a lot more of a Santino type of character when I'm just in the ring. Because yeah, like I'm just like the whole nerd, the whole package of like me just being like ooh woo ooh woo, like I just love anime. I love my figurines and all that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, tell us about we talked a little bit about it before we went on the air, but
Mm.
tell us about your very first match. You said it was a Royal Rumble type of situation. So tell us about it. Lay it on us.
Yeah. So as we were talking, I was 4 months in, and obviously they needed like bodies in it, and so they threw me and a bunch of other newbies into the Royal Rumble, which was called the Rocky Mountain Rumble, and I I was in that match. It's funny because like I was in there for like not too long, really. I just
Hmm.
went in there. I don't know why. Like I just my mind just like went somewhere, and as soon as I got in the ring, everything just like exploded inside me. It was like excitement. It was like nervous. It was like anxiety because I didn't want to like mess up in front of my family who was there.
Hmm.
Who was there, and they were cheering me on as I got into the ring. Um, there was a bunch of other people in there too. Trey was in there. Uh, yeah, Trey was in there, and yeah, we just like worked in there. There was a bunch of other people that I was working in there. I was mainly like just throwing strikes, throwing like things in the corner because I just wanted to stay out of the way and just really just focus on like what I'm good at, really. And that's what we were told: just stay in a corner, focus, and just like throw strikes, random strikes, and all that.
Gotcha. So, we've heard about the first match. Now tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of.
Oof. There's like a lot of matches I can jot down to. Like I'm not the kind of guy that says like, oh, my favorite match is always gonna be my next match. And then because I've had some pretty good matches. I guess like in my top three matches, I was facing against Kenny Cash in a Deck the Halls street fight, which was a Christmas themed, like just hardcore match. It was pretty fun and it was very funny because there was a table that had gingerbread houses on them. There was a table that had Christmas ornaments and holiday lights on them. There was also a a cookie tin that I had, and like I took out all the cookies out from it, and I put like sewing stuff in it, which was pretty funny. And there was also a Santa head that was hidden under the ring, and I was hitting Kenny Cash with it, and I was just yelling out "Frosty Punch, Frosty Punch." It was just like a funny match, and I guess another match that I had a lot of fun with. What I could also consider like one of my favorite matches was also me against Sterling. Even though like it may have been a short match, I
Hmm.
still me and him just had a ridiculously good match as well. And obviously, like even though I had a one night tournament to get to him, and we wrestled the same night as well, I'm coming for you, Sterling. We're gonna run it back. If you're in the chat right now, we're gonna do it.
No doubt. No doubt.
And then also another match I can consider it was me versus Princess Deathwish and Chuko Bum at the Lucha Project, and this was last month. It was a triple threat, and it was also like an action-packed match. And I don't know why, just like things just melded together, and it was just a fun match to have.
Gotcha. So I know everybody has them,
Mm-hmm.
but what would you say is your biggest in-ring pet peeve?
Weirdly enough, I barely have them. I barely like. I just go in as is. Really.
Hmm.
Um, I guess like the big one is just like people's gear that smells.
Oh yeah,
Like yeah, it's just like I understand like some of them just are on the road a lot, but it's just obviously just take a shower or wash your gear.
yeah. A number of years ago, I trained for a while in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and
Mm.
there was always this one guy who would never wash his gi, and it
Oh.
was just
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, that does not sound good. Like even I wash my gym bag like every month.
Yeah, you you pretty much have to.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
obviously you don't want it to build up with the stench.
yeah. So, if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
That's a tough one because yeah, like we always have the greatest talkers, such as like The Rock, Stone Cold, even Road Dogg, who are just the best talkers. But then like there's obviously the people that are just so good in the ring, like Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and a bunch more. It's
Yeah,
always so hard to just choose one. I'd say like be better in the ring because obviously like obviously promos can get you so far, but having the matches to really back up like what you say in the ring can really help out so much.
right. Right. Yeah. You know, that question, literally, I have asked that in every one of these that I have done, and it is literally like a 50-50 split. I mean, and it's always interesting hearing people's justifications for why they choose one or the other. You know,
Right.
uh, and you know the people that are good in both aspects can almost write their own ticket. Like I mean, for instance, you know, when MJF came on, you know, he was incredible on the mic,
Oh yeah.
and his ring work was okay, but he has put in the work to where now he is really good
I
both
do them
on the
both. Yeah.
mic and in the ring. You know,
Yeah.
and it was kind of the opposite with Osprey, for instance. You know, amazing in-ring technician, but really until this run that he's had in AEW, he really didn't speak much, but he's amazing on the mic too.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
so speed round. Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan's pretty good. Like she's because prior I think before she went heel, she wasn't really doing as much for me,
Right.
because like she wasn't like I don't know, she didn't really stood out. And then just like out of nowhere, I think when she cashed in, yeah, when she
Mm-hmm.
had the money in the bank and she finally like she just cashed in, I think that's what really like propelled her up, really. Like propelled her
Gotcha.
up. Yeah. She's good now. Like she's really like proven like her worth now.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So what has been your most unusual encounter with a fan?
Oh, this happened when I was out in Reno. A so it's always so hard to describe this. So like my gear is adorned of like anime girls in like precarious faces with precarious faces. There was a kid, he looked like he was around 8 or 10 years old, and he came up to me and told me like, "Hey, I know where that one's from." And I just gave him the wide eye like, "Wait, what? I'm sorry, what?" and, and that's what really shocked me. And I'm just here all like, yeah, my wrestling gear is very provocative, but it doesn't really show them like any other than just their faces.
Right.
And yeah, that was my strangest encounter with a fan. just them telling me like, oh, I know where that's from, and
Yeah, and at his age, he shouldn't have known where that was from, huh?
yeah, exactly. It was just funny to see. It was funny to see, and I'm just here, like, well, this is it. But yeah, it's funny though, because most people just don't know like what they're actually from, but it's just like, yeah, cool. uh,
Gotcha. So, do you have a preference yourself between working heel or babyface?
Currently, right now, like I'm working babyface because the nerd aspect is just what really like accentuates me, and like yeah, the anime nerd, the anime weeb is just what really like accentuates like who I am as a person. So it just better melds as like a babyface.
Hmm.
Like in a way, I kind of do. I have ideas of just how I can be able to like switch it around being a heel, but I don't know how it could translate well. So
Gotcha. So, in terms of your in ring work and your promos, who would you say are some of your influences?
obviously, like, because I do promos like always on my own. I've always done like such interesting like stuff with like the things I've done with my own promos. I guess like the influences of that have been like Broken Matt Hardy, how like he
Hmm.
always does like the Lake of Rejuvenation, all that stuff. I do things that just really like think outside the box, because that's what he does with like the Broken Mat. I just think outside the box, really. And
Gotcha.
yeah. Uh,
So, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that you can have watched it a million times and it just really never gets old, and there's always some new little something you can pull from it.
mm, oh man, I because like one of my favorite matches to watch all the time has always been like the Money in the Banks.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's always been the Money in the Banks. I think like my favorite one out of it was just like the one from WrestleMania 22 and WrestleMania 23, because like those were like very action packed ones, really. And I'm always just seeing other things, like obviously Jeff's leg drop onto Edge on that ladder. I think that was really fun. I think that was like obviously like whoa, nasty. Ugh,
Yeah.
nasty. And then for WrestleMania 22, you see like Ric Flair getting suplexed off the top of the ladder, and it's just like but really it's just like one of those like, oh my god, it's happening, it's really going. So I guess those are really fun. Though like my favorite match of all time has to be like Okada and Omega, because they have always just had like that kind of chemistry when they wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've always had that chemistry when they wrestled. Like even with like my favorite wrestler John Cena, his my favorite match with him was him versus Punk, like, and also tied with him versus RVD One Night Stand. Both of those matches just showed really just how good he can really take just fans, really.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue to the next speed round name, Kazuchika Okada.
Ah, the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good. Like his AEW stuff is actually like accentuated him as a character, at least. Like
Yeah.
he's like the very sarcastic guy.
Yeah.
He's very sarcastic. I think like that one meme of him just like going like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry," and just
Yeah.
saying "bitch," and
Yeah.
it's just he's just funny in that kind of regard. But like when he's in New Japan, he's like a different guy. He's just all serious and all brooding. Just like he's
Yeah.
got to give the fans like something to go home with, really.
Right. Yeah. You know, I like what he's doing in AEW as well, sort of showing the funny side of Okada, which you, like you said, you really never got to see over in New Japan
Oh yeah,
because he was
definitely.
just Mr. Serious.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, so, and this can be present day or past. Who would be a dream opponent for you? Who would you love to have the opportunity to share a ring with?
Oh man. Like obviously it's his final year. I would so love to wrestle John Cena. Like even though like yeah, yeah, he's a WWE lifer. It would be amazing just to share the ring with him just at least like once. Um there's there's also Kenny Omega, since he's the biggest inspiration to really bring me back into like my passion for wrestling. Obviously, you can't deny that. And then
Yeah.
an oddball one right now too, and he's been like at the hottest at my list right now, and he's obviously the hottest person right now too. Joe Hendry.
Oh yeah.
Joe Hendry. I would so love to share a ring with Joe Hendry as well, because like the man is very multi-talented. He sings, he does like these funny promos as well. I forget, yeah, that he's also an influence on like on me as well, and just like how to like really present yourself,
Mm-hmm.
really present yourself. He's just like he's that presenter. He knows who he is. He just has that charisma. He has that aura. He's just that guy, really. And I would so be very honored to really share the ring with him.
Absolutely. Yeah. Um, and Joe Hendry has managed to crack the code in going viral. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
definitely.
but I was just looking over at the YouTube chat, and Talon actually posted some messages for you. Wrestling nerds love anime nerds.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Wrestle nerds love anime nerds. Senpai's Corner.
Yep.
That's obviously going to be the name of my YouTube channel that I'm going to be making.
Oh, really? Senpai
Yeah,
Corner.
yeah.
Very cool.
Senpai's
Very
Corner.
cool.
Yeah, obviously Talon loves my gimmick. He's always a fan of my matches, and I love the kid too. As we were
Oh
saying,
yeah.
I've seen him wrestle, I've seen him train, I've trained with him, I've trained him on some things, and obviously like Talon is like the freshest and like the most anticipated person to really just be wrestling next. Obviously, like I can't wait to see him wrestle.
Well, you know, when I had him on the show, man, he so totally impressed me. I mean, you know, to be that young, he is so wise beyond his years.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good stuff about Talon. He is a great kid with a bright future.
Oh yeah, definitely. I also do want to share the ring with him too. Wrestle him one time, you got
Yeah,
to come for this too, Talon. You got to come for this title.
absolutely. So, you know, you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure this applies. So I'm going to ask you, what hurts right now? Or would it be better to ask what doesn't hurt?
Like, obviously, like, yeah, like obviously, like your back is going to be the one that's going to be hurting the most in wrestling. uh, like I've had just like close calls with just some stuff. I guess like concussions are the most common. I've had a concussion before in wrestling.
Mhm.
I never told anybody about it, but it happened. um, it's funny too because like my shoulder hurts right now because I slipped on ice the other day. As I was going to work.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but obviously, like your body just gets that wear and tear as time goes on. But like obviously stretches help. Just icing stuff helps too. And just yeah.
Gotcha.
That massage gun really. Oh my god, it is a godsend. Yeah, the massage gun stuff is just such a godsend. So I always take advantage of that.
Gotcha. So I know that in terms of preparing for a match, there's really kind of two and a half different approaches. You can work it out with your opponent in the back, you can call it in the ring, or you can kind of do a hybrid of both. Do
Mhm.
you have a preference?
Um, I guess it's like a hybrid of both. Because like sometimes when you plan everything out, sometimes things can go a little left field, or things can kind of just get spiral out of control. So you kind of gotta just call it out from there, and then like see where you can once you get back on track, you're back on track really. And
Hmm.
it's like sometimes that I've actually like called things out, I've just like kind of like blanked or spaced out on it. But I know like I kind of do have to get used to it when you call things when like you're setting up your match in the back. It's cool to really like know like where you're going, where you can add your character in, where you can add all the stuff in really. So I guess it's just really like depending on the situation or anything.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
So, what is you mentioned a concussion, but would you say that is the most significant injury that you've suffered in wrestling, or has there been something else that's
Um,
been more serious than that?
I never really had much serious because um yeah, other than just that like mild concussion, I was just like, whoa, what? So yeah, I guess like that was like the most like yeah, the close encounters was like I worked once with like my calf being like almost blown. I was just like, I've worked with like stitches really before too. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I worked with
Oh
stitches.
yeah,
So yeah, I worked with it, but I made sure like I took like super precautions. Like I wrapped it up, made sure like obviously nothing was gonna bleed out. So but yeah, other than that, just yeah, that one concussion I had just happened.
gotcha. So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling?
It's huge, obviously, because like the best way to get people to know who you are, or to get people like an idea of like the show you're gonna be on, or like where you're gonna be wrestling, or everything like that. It plays a lot because you know, like like obviously when you go to a show and you see like a bunch of goobers in the ring, it's just like, oh man, look at these guys, and then just show who they are. But when you see like how they promote on social media, obviously like you've seen like people that promote with social media, like they make like these like very intuitive kind of promos. Like we
Mhm.
have Bronson, who is the best dad. I've seen him make a promo while he was cutting the lawn as his best dad character, and I think that was just
Mhm.
hilarious. There's Sterling Silvers, who makes like these very wholesome promos. Oh my god, I don't know why. Whenever I see a Sterling Silvers promo, it just warms my heart like to no end. And then there's like my promos, which I just do something funny really, because I think like the best one I've made was just me at like our our like version of Comic Con, which is FanX. I went
Mhm.
there. I was dressed up in a shark costume, yeah, in a shark onesie pajama, and I just had no script, no like expectation. I just went with a microphone and I just went to town.
Gotcha.
Mhm. So yeah, social media does play a lot into like what really show it, because not only it showcases your character, it showcases the match you're gonna have really.
Absolutely. Speed round. Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh, he's really good. He's solid.
Yeah.
Really good, really solid. Obviously, want to see him on TV again. So hopefully that rumor of him going to AEW is true.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I've actually had a few people on the show that have gone to Mike Bailey's seminars and have said that he is just an amazing teacher as well, and that he's always willing to share tips and ideas and just stuff. So I mean, he seems like a really good guy as
Oh
well
yeah.
as an amazing wrestler.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. He does.
So, oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, definitely. Like he's a very solid person in the ring, and just like has always had like such fantastic matches. Obviously, would love to maybe see one of his seminars as well.
So, knowing everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Don't give up. Obviously, like don't give up. Like your parents may have just teased you, but just don't give up. Like prove to them that you can do it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, do you have any advice for any young people that might watch this that are looking to break into the business?
Really, all it takes is just a leap of faith, really, because I was going through like when yeah, it was like the same amount of time around the same time where I was just like contemplating just like going or not going. I was just going through that bit of anxiety of just like, what if I don't do good? What if I just don't fit in? What if I just like flub up and everything around that? All I really do, all I can really say is just it just takes a leap of faith, really.
Absolutely. So, do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
Oh man, like, uh, I think it was the match right before. Yeah, it was the match right before. Uh, no, 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 no. It was my this match I had with like a bunch of other guys. I was facing Darwin Finch, Princess Deathwish, Tony Nova, and Jason Bravo. I think this was the start of it all. Now I just tell myself, just fight for yourself, no one else. Fight for yourself, no one else. Fight for yourself, no one else. Really, just to like kind of bring up the fire inside me, just to like accentuate myself out there. A funny thing I memed about or just like joked about a lot, because I always tell people it's just like, man, all I want to do is just go out into the ring and eat a bagel. And every morning I just go out every morning, and this was the day of the show too. I just go out and I just go to Einstein Bagels and just get myself a bagel. It's just my pre-show bagel.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. So my previous guest was a wrestler from out of Fort Wayne, Indiana by the name of Jacob Braun. And the question that he posed is, what is one move that you currently don't do that you wish you could?
I wish I could do a Frankensteiner, honestly, or like some variation of it, like a head scissors or all that stuff.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's another one that I wish I could also do, and it's just like Kevin Owens's cannonball. There's just like a whole list of just like what I can do or what I want to do, but like yeah, like a Frankenstein would be fun to do.
Got you. Got you. So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question that you would like to ask to the next guest? And I can go ahead and tell you the next guest is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. I've got episode 86 with actually one of Trey's classmates from Black and Brave, a guy named Drake Holloway. He's coming on, and the question doesn't have to be particular to him, but is there a question that you would like to pose?
Let's see. That's a good one. Like, what was it? What do you always want your students to walk out with? Really? Like either a great match or just a great moment in the ring.
How would you answer that?
Obviously, like a great moment, because like something that can really like take away with, like something that really like can stand out with the match. I've always had those, because I had a match with Bobby Fonta last year. Last year, and there was a moment where it was just the most unpredictable thing I did. I pulled out a Fanta because I thought his name was pronounced Fanta, or it's just a play on words. And I just brought it out to him, and I just like, hey, here you go. Here's a Fanta, just like your name. And just out of nowhere, I just started singing the Fanta theme song. Don't you wanna Fanta? Don't you wanna Fanta? Gotcha. And it was just something that just like really stood out, and it made me just like laugh really inside. Gotcha. And obviously, I want to have like a lot more unpredictable and like, but yet funny moments in the ring as well.
Gotcha. Well, we're getting toward the end of things now. So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to? You can tell us about this new YouTube channel you've got coming. Lay it on us. Well, what's coming up for you?
All right. So Senpai's Corner. It's going to be one of the great shows that I can really present myself. Want to know about the rise, fall, and rebirth of Toonami? Check me out. If you want to know an introduction to the shonen anime genre, check it out. Anime, really? I can give you genres and topics of what all the kinds. Just check me out. It's going to be Senpai's Corner. It's going to be fun. Woo-woo. And also, Saturday, I'm going to be wrestling with Dive Wrestling, and I'm going to be in a Fatal 4-Way defending my Rise to the Top championship. Montvito, Jason Bravo, and Kenny Cash. I hope you guys have your A game, because I'm going to be bringing out everything I have. I'm going to be bringing out my power level against you guys. And if you guys want to see an even more unhinged Alex V, next Thursday, I'm going to be at the Lucha Project over at the Metro Music Hall, where it's going to be Lucha Love Bomb. It's going to be amazing too. Ooh, woo.
Awesome. Well, as far as what we've got going, like I said, tomorrow night, the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I've got episode 86 with Drake Holloway. Then on Saturday, the 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 87 with another one of Trey's classmates from Black and Brave, Tori Fox.
All right.
And then Monday, the 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I've got episode 88, and I've got the master himself, Merrick Brave from Black and Brave. Like I was telling you before we went on the air, man, I am so excited about that episode. Getting the chance to pick his brain and sort of hear the story about how Black and Brave came to be. It's going to be a really great episode.
Definitely.
Really, really excited for that one.
All right.
And man, I want to thank you for your time. This has been a blast.
Oh, thank you. I had fun.
And you can definitely consider yourself to be part of the Throwdown family. If you ever want to come back on, you've got a standing invitation. And I am excited to follow the progress of Senpai Corner and see where that's going to go for you. And I'm also excited to follow your wrestling career. I think you've got big things ahead of you, my man.
Definitely. I do believe I got a lot of things.
And, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and clips on the web, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, definitely do the whole like, comment, share, and subscribe thing. And in the meantime, I'll be back tomorrow night at 7 with Drake Holloway. And y'all be good to each other, love each other,